Hello, hello, it's CKM again. This is another part of this kind of intro to the Republic DLC. Now, I'm going to do something slightly different here as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the cheat menu, not to cheat my way through the game, because I think that is a pointless waste of time, but just to sort of try and create some scenarios that I can just test instead of having to wait for them, because I'm slightly confused. The first thing I'm going to have just a very quick look at is the designated heir issue, just to show you what actually happens if you use it. Firstly, as you can see, there's a little kind of, let's close that. You can see this thing up here. This is the This is a cheat console. There's probably a way of moving it, but I'm buggered if I know what it is, so it's going to sit there in the way. Okay. All it's done is there's certain things that you can put into here to kill a character and blah 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 blah. And if you put your thing over there, you can see there's lots of extra little information for debugging, and the key one there's the ID. So anyway, what I'm going to do is let's have a quick look at this thing. Our eldest member of the dynasty, where is he? Dynasty tree. Yeah, there's 7 members. Let's go through here just to make sure we all understand. There's 7 members, us, and then 2 other adult males, our son who's 24 and our second son who's 22. So the eldest son gets all of the stuff, so he's the heir to everything, the county, the barony and the house. You can see it there. So what I want to do is just check what happens here with this bloke, with this designated heir thing. So you can grant an honorary title of designated heir to him, so I can't do that because Poxy, it is there, good. So I make him the designated heir, okay, and he immediately becomes now interestingly he becomes designated heir, but not of everything, I don't think. Let's have a look. He's heir, I know he is, he's got heir to everything, the county, the barony and the house, right? So now what I'm going to do is, just to make sure that does happen, I'm going to kill him. I'm not going to wait for him to die. His character ID is 20323, so if I put kill 20323, he's a dead un. So the question therefore is, who has become the patrician? Let's have a quick look. Him, as you see, was the one that would have got seniority, but you bastard, come on. Oh yeah, sorry, we have to get rid of that. Fuck me backwards with a barge pole. So it's our brother. So he's got nothing. He has got a strong claim, but although he was seniority, he hasn't got anything. So the guy that we designated has picked up the lot, okay, and he's the blah 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 whatever. So that's just the first bit, just to prove that the designated heir thing does work. What I'm now going to do, actually, I probably haven't got a chance. Can I make him the designated heir? I just want to check one other thing. Let's make him our new designated heir, because we now of course get a chance to do it again. So he has become the designated heir of him, which therefore, as you see, the heir has now moved again, which is all very nice. This bloke's, he's not doing very well here, is he? As you can see, he's ambitious and he's a pretender. He doesn't seem to mind the fact we're not making him designated heir. What I wanted to do here, though, is see what happens if I want to make him now the designated heir. As you see, there is no chance for me to do that. In other words, it's a one-off thing. But what I just wanted to check is what happens if my designated heir kicks the bucket. Can I then get another designated heir? So let's have a quick look. As we see, his character ID is 510079. So let's kill 510079. So he's now kicked the bucket. That means that our heir switches once again back to him. But what I just wanted to check is, can I now award a designated heir to someone else? Now this is actually slightly shagged up, I suppose, because I don't have anyone theoretically. Oh no, him. Yeah, I can. Even though he's a seniority one, I guess theoretically I can still designate. So basically, the point of showing this was just to show you that you can override as a one-off the seniority by designating someone else as the heir. If you you can't then do it again, you can't then undo that, you can't change it, you can't do anything unless your designated heir dies before they get to succeed you. Of course, if you die before them, it's irrelevant because you're dead. But if they die before they succeed you, well then you can now pick someone else to be the designated heir. Also, interestingly, you can pick the person who is the normal heir by seniority. You can actually pick him to be your designated heir as well, which is slightly weird, I suppose. I don't know why would you do that, because I'm trying to work out what the point of that would ever be, because if he's already the oldest member of the dynasty, then surely no one else can come along to take that over, because no one's going to be able to catch up at their age, are they? So I don't know. Anyway, that's the first one. Just want to have a look at the designated heir. I'll be back shortly for something else. Okay, we're back. I'm now going to have a quick look at embargoes, just to get clear in my mind what the fuck's going on. And what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to have a look at it from a feudal point of view. There is a trade post in that thing we've seen from Genoa, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play as the Duke of Barcelona to start with, just to show you what happens when you have an embargo from the kind of outsider's point of view. So hopefully when this little ship will speed up, you don't have to take that fucking long, do you? I'll come, there we go. So there's the trade post there. That's the cheat menu just coming up there. Okay, so we have this trade post. We're Barcelona, these are our 4 territories, and we have this trade post. So what does that mean from us as a feudal point of view? We're not playing the Republic. Well, it's owned by Genoa, so if I go up to Genoa, I can declare war, and it's an embargo, so I have no casus belli for anything else. So what happens here is we're going to declare war, embargo it, and we're going to raise that trade post there. Okay, so let's send that. So we're going to do that. So we're now at war. We're now going to quickly cheat to give ourselves a load of extra money. Then we're just going to hire a load of mercs and use those to besiege. We'll now speed it up. And so what I'll do is I'm just going to pause. Well, actually, we'll let him. As you see, they're besieging the port. Let's ignore that. Siege trade post of Barcelona. So by keeping the troops in my own territory of Barcelona, usually, of course, if you're going to go to war with someone else, you have to go to their areas to besiege them. But obviously, I am actually able to besiege that trade post. And if we go down to the holding, it's got my little flag, so it's now besieged. I'm assuming from their point of view, that means immediately the income has died from their point of view. And we're going to try and have a look at that in a little bit. But what I'm now going to do is let the war continue. He won't quite give up yet. Things are certainly going my way. Yes, mate. What I will do is I'll just pause the video and wait for the surrender and see what actually happens. Okay, so the war's won, and what I did is I sent my troops over to his provinces to actually besiege his areas. And the reason I did that, if you look at the war score, is you see the trade post. I mean, it took forever. We only got 6% from doing that, from occupying that. So we just had to go over and actually have a proper fight with the bloke. So it wasn't good enough just to take his trade post. We did actually have to go over and besiege the areas. Anyway, interestingly enough, he gave up at 54%. So instead of doing the usual waiting for 100%, he has given up. So we surrender under these terms. They've raised the trade post. So me, Duke Ramon, whatever bollocks, has gained 41, so I guess my cash will go up by, there it goes up. So I've gained 41, and as you notice, that trade post has disappeared completely. So if you're a feudal lord, then the point of doing this is you've just got some extra money. And I'm guessing as the game goes on, because these trade posts can be, you know, upgraded, I guess they can possibly become quite valuable. I'm assuming that's what happens. So that's just an example of the trade of the embargo, the war, from his point of view of a feudal lord, as to why they would do it. So let's have a look at it from our point of view now, not from the Genoan side, but from, say, the side of the Doge of Pisa. Okay, so now I've re-entered the Republic DLC. I'm now playing as the Doge of Pisa. The reason I wanted to be the Doge is because the big advantage, one of the big advantages of being the Doge, is that you can try and get embargo wars started. So we're still at the same time period. There's still this Barcelona trading post, which is owned by Genoa. So what I want to do now is I want to go to him and I want to say, will you embargo? See, he can, I'm not going to declare war on him other than to seize cities, but I can ask him instead to embargo, and I can ask him, you know, to do Genoa, Venice, or Gotland, the other three republics. So I'm going to go with him. Now you'll notice he says no. offers 200. He still won't do it. Oh, if you lose the war, you'll pay the war reparation there as well. Yeah, interesting. I'll have to come to that as well. So you see, he still ultimately won't do it. There's base reluctance and greed. But what I want to do, let's see if I can get him to, let's give some money to him and see if that will be enough to do it. It is just about enough. His opinion of me has gone right up and has managed to outweigh what's going on there. So we're going to say embargo the war there, okay? So he's currently considering whether to do that or not. I'm guessing he'll say yes. And the first thing that happened there is I've actually had to pay up for him there. It wasn't very clear there. Well, it was clear, but I mean, maybe it didn't show it, or I wasn't aware. I had to send him some money as a gift, but also I had to pay him 200 to sweeten the deal. So previously, even with the 200, he wasn't worth his while. But this, I've given him 200, and it came out of my cash there. This cash has been boosted by me cheating. But basically now we have, as you see, we will force the Genoese traders out of Barcelona. So it's basically exactly the same thing has now happened. There's now a war. As you can see, what he's done is what he did last time. He's left some people there to besiege the trading post, which is what they're now doing, and the rest of them are going off to fight. Now I'm not going to run the war because, you know, I'm now party to this war. This is the only difference. Before it was between the two of them. I'm now an ally, so I can join in. Which I could, if I wanted to run the war to its end, I would do. I'll just hire shitloads of troops and we'll crush them. But what will happen is the same thing. Ultimately, will happen in that trading post will disappear. He'll get, I guess, he'll get the money from that trading post as before. The only difference, therefore, from what we saw before is he was doing it off his own bat before. This time he's doing it for us, and of course he gets more money then because we had to bung him another 200 to do that. Plus he'll get, I guess, whatever's in the trading post. So, as you can see, he's already done that. He's already besieged the trading post and won it. Because his little shield has gone on there. You might say, how is he able to do that? Well, if you look, I mean, the garrison size is tiny and the fort level is tiny, so therefore it takes very little effort to besiege one of these. And you can see in the war score, therefore, 6% occupation. However, he still has to go off, as he's doing, to send his troops away to have a fight. But I'm not going to finish that up, but it's basically going to get exactly the same thing. The trading post is going to die, or going to be removed, so Genoa will lose that trading post, and therefore we've weakened one of our rivals. So that's the first thing I wanted to look at with, or that's one of the main things I wanted to look at with embargo. I want to have a quick look at one other aspect shortly. Okay, so we've had a quick look at embargo wars. One is, you know, how you start them. You can get someone else to do it for you. You have to pay a lot of money, or if you're the feudal lord yourselves, then you can do it, and the reason you want to do it is to get the money from the trading post, and in either case the trading post will disappear. So now let's have a quick look at another thing, where I'm now still the Doge of Pisa, and I'm going to have a go at Genoa again. So let's have a quick look at Genoa to see how all this sort of stuff works. Because as you see here, there's also an embargo thing going on here. Now this doesn't seem to make sense, because look at this. If we win the war, so we can embargo them, but if we win the war, we'll gain nothing from raising no trade posts, which is all bizarre. So I'm going to quickly check that out. So what I'll do is I'm going to declare war on him, and then I'll raise some merc troops. I just want to see what it does, because this might be a bug. So let's hire shitloads of troops, because of course I'm still cheating. Remember here, I'm gonna send one of them there. Where's that other one? Send that one over there. So there's this Genoa guy. Oh, where's he got trading posts anyway? Let's actually, he's got over there. Let's send it over to Barcelona. So I'll pause the game. I'm basically hopefully going to beat this guy in the war, and I just want to see what it does, because it seems that tooltip seems to say nothing will happen, which means why is it even there? Maybe that's a bug. We don't know. So back in a sec. Okay, so the war's, well, he's willing to surrender, but I've just paused it beforehand just to see where we are. We've basically sieged everything there, including his trade post, which has now got our shield on it, and we went over to Barcelona and did the same thing. So basically we've besieged all of his trade posts, plus his other holdings as well. So you can see there's 2 trade posts there that we occupy plus 3 other holdings. So he's willing to surrender. So if we enforce the demand to surrender, and he'll obviously say yes please. So the war has finished and we won. You have a look at what's happened there. Nothing, from what I can tell. Genoa still owns that trade post, and in Nice they still own that trade post. So, you know, the tooltip was actually correct. We can declare war. We can declare an embargo against these people, yet it's of no use. So I don't know whether that's an error. So anyone who knows why a Doge would declare embargo war on another republic, could you let us know? Because it seems to be completely bizarre to me. So what we'll do is we'll come back, we'll pause again, and I'll reload again and have a look at a couple of other aspects as well. Okay, so we've worked out that the embargo seems to be bollocks, unless someone else can tell me why that is. So let's have just one quick look. There's also we can directly seize, well, we can do the cities that he owns, I guess. Although interestingly enough, we cannot do this one. Is that because that's his capital? Let's go and have a look here. So there is the barony, the bishopric, the city. There's 2 cities. House of Grimaldi. Oh, he only owns. So these 2 are both cities. The Count Genoa. Now, interestingly enough, I can't declare war on him to get that. Maybe that's because, yeah, the only city I can go for is the one over here, which would be, this is a bishopric, so I can get that city, but I can't get his city there. And interestingly enough, we do already. Oh no, there's someone else from, whose house is that? Oh no, it's in Genoa as well. So someone else in a different house owns the city there. Anyway, that's not the point of this. I wanted to have a quick look at what happens when you declare war on him for his trade post, just to make sure that's kind of working. So let's do that one there. There's one in Nice. Let's say we want that. At the moment you see there, it's the trade post of Genoa. So let's seize the trade post of Nice. What other ones does he have while he's at it? No, okay. So there's a trade post of Nice. So we're going to do the whole thing. I've cheated with the cash again, so I'll just declare war, and I'll pause it and come back. Okay, so the war has, well, it hasn't ended, but we were getting the surrender thing. So let's just hit yes on that, give him a chance to think about it. So there we go, we won it there, he's agreed to it. May your years be short and miserable. It's a bit harsh, mate. So therefore, if we now go over that, there we are, Pisa. If we go on to our little thing here, who are we? We are Pisa. Delica, yeah, there you go, Nice has now appeared there. So that is fascinating, isn't it? So basically, yeah, we can grab their own trading posts, including, I'm guessing, that one. Can we have that one as well? Oh, sorry, hang on. We have to disband. Whose is that one? Firstly, Genoa, Doria. Will they let us have that one? See, that's the one thing that does interest me. It seems to be in their capital. I can't take any of the cities, and I can't necessarily take the trading post off them. Fleishy. Let's have a quick look at who this bloke is. I mean, he is the House of Doria, and he's got a trade post there, but I can't take it, so that's interesting as to why that is the case. So, anyway, what was the point of all that? I suppose, I mean, obviously I don't advocate the cheating. I just wanted to get in my mind something to do with the tactics before I really get into this. Otherwise, I mean, sometimes it's interesting to learn things as you go, but I think this was going to annoy me. Basically, as far as the embargo war goes, it seems to be there's a bug that lets you do an embargo war if you're playing as a republic, which is pointless, or doesn't seem to work. Maybe there is some instance where it does work. If anyone can tell me, then stick it in a comment. Other than that, the main reason to go to war with another republic is to seize their trade posts and, I guess, and also their cities. But if not, then you want to use, as a doge, you want to get other people to kick your rivals out, and you'll have to offer them some extra money to do that. So what does that mean, I guess, for strategy? Well, you have to, wherever you put your own trade posts outside of your own area, obviously you put them in your own area. That's how trade posts we have in our own area there, or in our own republic. But if you go and spread out, which you will have to at some point, I guess one of the key things is to keep the guy sweet. So for instance, with the Barcelona bloke, if we built some trade posts over here, then it's probably worth bunging him some money. I'm wondering whether marriages and betrothals have an impact as well. Possibly join his war. He's having a war at the moment with, I'm guessing he's having a war with the Muslims or something, is it? Yeah, so he's having a war with the Muslims. The Muslims. It's female Muslims. Maybe you can join his war, and that will give you some extra, opinion. I don't know. I mean, maybe we could actually. Should we just see what that does while we're here? He'll say yes. All help is appreciated. We'll just unpause it a second. Let our enemies tremble. So there you go. The opinion's already up because we joined one of his wars. So there's that sort of thing, I guess. Is that the strategy here is you're going to build up your trading zones, and you're going to also build up your posts to increase your trade zones, and then in the areas that you do it outside of your realm, you want to be conducting diplomacy. As I said at the end of the last video, I read this in the forum because someone went a bit mad in the forums. Actually, they talked about the fact that they opened up shitloads of trade zones, I'm guessing all the way down here in the Holy Roman Empire, and then funnily enough the Holy Roman Empire then declared war, an embargo war, probably at the behest of one of his republic rivals, and obviously he got stamped on by the Holy Roman Empire, and he lost every single one of his trading posts which he'd built up, and he was saying that's a bug and it's rubbish, but of course it isn't. It's actually how the game is going to work. So the strategy is going to be going forward, as I say, you can't just go around opening up willy-nilly. You're going to have to, I think, build up diplomatic relations with these people. So that'll probably be where the interesting aspect comes. It'll be interesting to see how marriages and things like that impact on that, and that might be something I'll investigate shortly. So I hope I haven't, this will sound stupid to say this, I hope I haven't offended anyone by cheating here. I'm not advocating cheating in the game. I just wanted to show some shortcuts to just see how these wars work, so instead of having to just wait for them to occur, which is annoying me a bit. So anyway, this was just an extra video, so thanks for watching. I might think of some more scenarios to do for this. But if not, I will actually continue in the next video, maybe the playthrough from where we were at the end of number 2. And that's the end of this video now. Except I'm actually still here, although this is now an hour and a bit later. I was just watching through the video before I uploaded it to YouTube, and I realised that when I was banging on about a bug in the game, the bug was actually in my head. Remember, I was talking about, I'm still the Doge of Pisa, I was talking about if I did this embargo war against my fellow, well not fellow, but my enemy republic, Genoa, it tells me I'm going to get no gain from raising no trade posts, even though part of the war I sieged that one and I sieged that one, and I took them both, but at the war, when he gave up, he got them back. Well, of course, you can only embargo ultimately and raise trading posts that are in your own territory. I can't go over to Barcelona and raise that trading post. It's not in my territory. Same with that one. It's not in my territory. So it's not a bug. It's me being an idiot. So you can have an embargo war. I guess if Genoa had put trading posts in my territory, I could then have an embargo war to get rid of them. So therefore, it's not a bug. It is working as intended, and it's just that I'm a fuckwit. but then I think you all probably knew that already. So that was it. I just wanted to add that on, just to clarify my own mistake. It is goodbye now.